Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Meredith Call, and I am the Director for Parent and Family Services here at UAB. And thank you so much for joining us for the second part of the Collat School of Business three-part webinar series that we are doing. Today's series is going to cover the Collat School of Business's career services and the opportunities that they offer to our students who are part of the School of Business, and getting those students in the services and opportunities to getting them employed, and before even that part, getting internships and externships and job shadowing and all of the services. And I'm not even going to start to go into that because I have the expert here to share that with you. But before we go that route, I want to take a couple minutes and kind of share with you how the system, the webinar system, will work today. And so just a few things to know about user systems and navigation related to the webinar. So just a few things that I want you to know that you can see and we'll see with using this particular webinar. Couple things to note. When you should see kind of a green bar at the top of your screen. That just lets you know that you are part of the webinar, and that everything is going on, that everything's operating correctly if you have any problems. The next thing to know is that if you need to change any of your audio settings, you can find that down here on the lower left-hand corner. If you click on that, this information will pop up so that you can shift or change your audio settings around. However, if you continue to have challenges hearing us, please know that you can, in that original email when you signed up, you can go in and actually connect to the webinar via the phone number that's in there versus your computer audio. Other things to know is this information down here on the bottom. You have a couple of options between raise hand, chat, and Q&A. I will say the raise and lower hand function doesn't really do a lot for us as far as it just lets us kind of know you're there. The bigger function to know is actually this chat and Q&A function, specifically though the Q&A function. If you were to click on this button, you would end up with a box that pops up like this, and then once you type in a question, this is a question from a previous webinar, it will be available for everybody, all participants to be, including the hosts over here, to be able to see what your particular question is. If you type in a question, or if someone else types in a question that you find interesting or you find to be very relevant to yourself, you can also click this thumbs up button right there. And what that does is it actually pushes it further up in the queue of questions, maybe pushing it to the front of the line. So if there is a question that you find to be very relevant, pertinent, and you don't want to continue to ask the same question over and over again, all you have to do is find the question that is similar to what you like or what you're interested in, click the thumbs up button, and all it does is push it directly further up in the queue, and that allows us to be able to answer that question much quicker. So that's just some key things to know about the Q&A function, and we will be taking questions throughout the presentation, so please feel free to put anything in. Again, the easiest thing though is the Q&A function versus the raise hand or the chat function. That just allows us to be able to see it easier, and then also allows us to be able to answer it, and other individuals to be able to communicate and share that with us. So that's the quick information about how this system itself will work. I am going to go ahead and start to pass it over to Rhea Stewart-Hampton. Rhea, yes, making sure that I had that hyphenation correct. She serves as the director for our the Collat School of Business's Career Center. So she's going to share with you about those different services and everything that they have to offer to our students. So I'm going to go ahead and shift that over to her. If you'll give us just 1 second.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. It's an exciting time at UAB, and most definitely it's an exciting time for the UAB Collat School of Business. If everyone hasn't heard, we just moved in about 4 weeks ago, into a $37 million new facility. And we are so excited. So if you're ever on campus or close to UAB and you want a tour of the new facility, please contact us and we can show you around our new space. So one of the things that we have in the new Collat School of Business is we have a dedicated career center for the business students. So what I thought I'd do today is just go over our staff and go over some of our programming that we do for the students in the Collat School of Business. So this first page here is just our staff. I'm Rita. I'm the director of the office, and my background is in sales and marketing. I spent about 15 years with the Collat company, where Tony the Tiger was my boss for a couple of years. And as many of us, we take a transition in our career and was a stay-at-home mom for about 5 years, and then transitioned back into in the workforce and started with the Collat School of Business at UAB. And I use that story quite a bit to share with students because I feel like my skills and abilities that I did in industry transfer very well over to what I'm doing right now. I did a lot of marketing and sales when I worked with Kellogg's, and right now my job is to market and sell our students to employers so they come to hire them for internships and all type of opportunity, entry-level jobs so they can launch their career. So that's a little bit about me. We also have Leah Bigby. Leah is our Assistant Director of Employer Engagement. And what that means is Leah connects with the employers. She goes out into the business community and talks to employers about how do you connect to the Collat School of Business, how do you hire, how do you get internships, what's the process that we use to do that. So she's our lead on that. And then we have Ms. Amber Anderson. Ms. Amber is our Assistant Director of Student Development, also known as our career coach. So as Leah's going out into the business community, contacting businesses about why they should come on campus to hire our business students, Ms. Amber's role is to get them ready, to make sure that they are prepared in their dress, their interviewing skills, and just being able to present themselves, to represent themselves and represent UAB in the Collat School of Business when they're in the workforce. Miss Lisa is a veteran in our office. She's been with UAB about 16 years. But Miss Lisa is our frontline person. So when you walk into our new Business Career Center, she's the very first person that all the students see. She's also the person that does the first line critique of their resume. So she's a very, very important part of our team. And we just hired 2 new career peer mentors for our office. Sammy Shin, who's an economics major, and also Joy Samara, who's a marketing major. As you know, I'm a parent myself, so as you know, I can tell my son something all day, but when a student says it, it's like, aha, they get it. So Sammy and Joy are the face of our office for the students, and they bring a wealth of different knowledges and skills that they bring to our office. Right now, they pretty much handle our social media because we have to be where the students are. And they run our Instagram account, and we'll talk about that at the very end, how you can start following us on Instagram so you can have frontline knowledge of what we're doing in the Career Center so you can help share that with your students. So some of the ways that we came up with a catchy theme about 1.5 years ago that says connect to Collat. How do students connect to us? How do employers connect to us? So what we've done is design some programming around that theme of connect to Collat. So this first slide just shows you our new space. We have 3 new offices there on the right with Amber and Leah and myself. We have a beautiful reception area where students can hang out there while they're waiting on to be interviewed or to get help from our office. We also have 3 named interview rooms in our space. Deloitte, who is one of the big 4 accounting firms, Enterprise, which is usually the #1 training program in America for entry-level jobs for students, and Vulcan Materials. They have invested in our office and named those 3 interview rooms. Those interview rooms also will be equipped with Skype interviews. So if we have employers that live out of state, can't have the budgets to travel to on campus, we have the technology where they can do Skype interviewing for our students, and we're extremely excited about that. So we're going to be doing a campaign out to our students that don't do your Skype interviewing in your dorm room. You can come over to the new Career Center and the Collat School of Business and have all the technology that you need to be able to do your interviews. We also have a room in the back that we're calling our Career Studio. It's a room that has lockers where when the students come in, of course, you know they're students, so they have tons of stuff. They have backpacks and water bottles and all this other stuff. So we have lockers in our Career Studio where they're able to store their all their information that they bring in, and also be able to check themselves out before they go into the interview. We bought a mirror back there. We have a lint roller. We have mints. We have bottled water. We have all types of things, so they're ready to interview and present their best self. Also, we have a quiet room where our employers are there, they can step away, and of course, they have to keep working while they're there interviewing our students. So we have a room we call the quiet room where they're able to continue to work, take phone calls. We also have a new employer lounge that is equipped with a refrigerator, ice, coffee maker, and all that stuff to make it a great experience for when they come on campus. So this slide right here just kind of outlines our new space. So one of the first things that we talk to our students about when they get on campus as a freshman, we have an online portal called Hire a Blazer. And that portal allows the students to see internships and all types of opportunities that are available for them to apply for. So the employers will upload their job descriptions, and we will go through and to make sure they're, legit and everything's on board on that, and we'll approve that employer to post their job description. And so students can go on and upload their picture. They can tell the employers, if they make it public, they can tell the employers a little bit about themselves, so employers can search this system as well. So it's a one-stop shop for all of our job postings. And so when you're talking to your students, make sure, or your kids, make sure you ask them, have you gotten all your information uploaded in Hire a Blazer? Have you filled out your profile? This is also where they will upload their resume. And we have a process in place where I mentioned Miss Lisa is the first line to upload the resumes or approve the resumes once they're uploaded. Then once they're uploaded into the system, they go into a queue. And we look over those resumes. We have resume guides and tips that we use. And once that resume meets our standards, and these standards, we've let employers look at these resumes, so they have agreed that this is the best format for them, for their particular industry. They will upload their resume, we will look it over, and we'll approve it. And that way they're not sending out something out to an employer that's not a good representation of themselves. So we have a whole process in place to get it approved, and if they need help, they can come into one of our programming, and I'll talk about it in a few minutes. We call Brew with the Crew, where they can come in to our office, or they can make an appointment if they feel like they need more time to work on their resume. So that's the first line, is Hire a Blazer. One of the things that we pull out of Hire a Blazer every Monday, I mentioned Leah's name. Leah is our employer contact. She does something out to the faculty and staff at the Collat School of Business, and we encourage our faculty and staff to then share it with our students, and then we share it as well. But it's called Hot Jobs and Internships. So what she goes into Hire a Blazer, and she will highlight a couple of jobs that are of interest. For this one, I think she put this one out on Monday. Sedexco has a digital media internship. I think that's probably here on campus at UAB. Automotive merchandising has an advertising internship available. So we just highlight a couple of internships and different jobs to encourage the students to get in there once they've got their resume approved and apply for these jobs and internships, so that they get experience while they're here working on the academic side. Many employers see internships as their entry-level jobs. So, and that's how the students are going to build their resume so they have experience in their field. And many of these internships, they pay. In fact, we promote paid internships in the business school. For instance, marketing students can make $12 to $15 an hour, and sometimes those jobs only require them to work 10 or 15 hours a week. But it helps them build their skill sets while they're in class. They're getting the academic side, but they're also getting hands-on experience by being able to do some of these internships. So please encourage your kids, your college students, to get on Hire Blazer, look at the hot jobs and internships, and apply for some of those internships. And with us being right here in Birmingham, the employers are very flexible. So the students can go to class, work a couple of hours, and then, take another class. The employers are very flexible and knowing that they need experience on their resume. One of the things I talked about before is our new interview suite. So Leah did a campaign just this week for companies to schedule their on-campus recruiting in our 3 new interview rooms. So we will be following up with many companies over the next couple of weeks so they book their schedule to come on campus to interview our students. And that's the beauty of, I just wish I had taken advantage of this while I was in college, because companies come to us. They want to interview our students, so the students don't have to, get in their car and drive off campus. Companies are coming on campus to interview the students. So please encourage them to take advantage of on-campus recruiting. A lot of students will tell me, well, Ms. Rita, I don't know a lot about this company, or I don't want to work for that company. And we always encourage students to, if you get an opportunity to interview, because the more you interview, the better you're going to be for that job that comes your way that you really, really want. You don't want that interview to be your first interview if you want to work at Hibbett's and that's the first time you've ever interviewed. You want to have some practice interviews with employers, and this is the perfect time to do that. I mentioned some of our programming. I talked about we have a catchy theme called Connect to Collat. Well, one of the programming aspects of that is another catchy theme, Employer in the Foyer. So we have a brand new foyer. It's the Medical Trust Commons area. We just had this company there last week, Birmingham International Forest Products, and they were looking for sales. So we have a listing of all the Employer in the Foyers that are coming up. Please encourage your students and ask them, have you been to an Employer in the Foyer? And these are held in our new Collat School of Business lobby. And they're from 12 to 2, and they're every Thursday. Typically they're on Thursday, but sometimes they can be on different days. We try to make it easy for the employer. If they can't come on Thursday, we'll change it to whatever day they can come. We usually do 12 to 2 because that's when students are getting their lunch, and then they're, walking through the building and that type of thing. But as you can see, we have many employers coming up in the next, all the way through November. Some Vulcan Materials, Mayor Electric, Regions is coming, Enterprise is coming, and the students don't have to be dressed. They know, the companies know they're in between classes and that type of thing. So it's more informal, and they can just walk up and talk to that employer about opportunities. One of the things, in order for a company to come to Employer in the Foyer, is that they have to have an opening. They're not just coming hanging out. They've got to have an opening, an immediate opening for an internship or a full-time job. That's why they're there. So please encourage your students to, even if their classes are in other buildings, please encourage your students to come into the new building and check out some of these programming opportunities that we have. The next programming opportunity that falls in line with Connect to Collat is our employer tours. Many of our students will tell us, we want to see what it's like to work at Regions. We want to see what it's like to work at Hibbett's. And so on Fridays, the class schedule is a little light for business students in the Collat School of Business. So we have about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, about 6 or 7 tours coming up all the way through November the 9th. So, and these are all between the hours of 10 and 12. So we went to Hibbett Sporting Goods. Hibbett's, they have their headquarters located here right off of Lakeshore, and they have an awesome headquarters there. And we were able to speak with the CEO and a lot of their executives there and tell them about, how to get jobs in the sporting industry. A lot of our, students want to work for big name brand companies. And so this is an opportunity for them to get some hands-on experience. The other one is Shipped. Shipped is a hot company right now. And we went last year to Shipped, and it is the most, that tour was probably one of the best ones we've done. It was over 25 students. We did the whole, they're located in the old John Hancock Bank downtown. And that is an awesome place for students to launch their career. So please encourage your students to go on the employer tours where they can meet the recruiters, they can meet people that work there and get a good feeling about the environment in which they will work. And these are a couple of pictures that we took while we were on the tours last year. That one's Hibbett's. CGI is a great company. If you've got students that are interested in information systems, that's the picture in the middle. Mercedes-Benz, that was a big hit. They brought in their auditor and different people that handle millions of dollars for Mercedes-Benz and spoke to us about cost accounting and that type of thing. And then the bottom picture is the CEO, Neil Down at Shipped right there with us. He came out of his cubicle and took a great picture with us at Shipped. So please encourage the employer tours for your students. The next programming idea that we do in the Collat School of Business that falls into Connect to Collat is Brew with the Crew. So we offer coffee in our office, and there's Joy and Sammy at the Keurig right there. So when they come in from 1 to 3, they can get a free cup of coffee while they get their resume reviewed or work on a mock interview and that type of thing. Our office, we strive to make it very opening, that the students want to hang out there, they want to come in. We try to be as hip as we can to get them into the office. So Joy and Sammy they're preparing a cup of coffee. We have tea, we have hot chocolate, so they can come in during that time. Brew with the Crew, there's no appointment needed. So they just come in. Sometimes we do group sessions. So if there's 3 marketing students that come in, we may go into the career studio or go into one of the interview rooms and talk to them all together and brainstorm with them. So that's another programming idea that we have as well. Very soon, in 2 weeks, we will be having the Fall Career Fair. And I want to spend a little time on this. What we do in the business school is we do a whole week. We call it the Prep Week. And we have named this particular week the Taste of Career Services. Ms. Amber Anderson, who's our career coach, has partnered with many restaurants and next week. So it kicks off on next Monday. And this is the week that we dedicate in helping our students prepare and get ready for the career fair that's on September 26th. So each day a new restaurant will be featured. We've got cookies coming from Insomnia Cookies. We've got pizza coming, anything to draw them in so they'll talk to us, right? So that week we'll have a table outside of our career office. So we'll make sure that they have their suit ready, that everything is ready for them so that they are ready for the career fair the next week. Also during this time, we are bringing back some of our alums. Some of our Collat School of Business alums want to impart their wisdom on our students. So we've been working with development to get some students back so that they can help the students on coaching them on different areas of their career as well. So on the 26th, we have a new location for our Fall Career Fair. It is a 2-part career fair. So it's going to be in the Bartow Arena. That's where the basketball team plays basketball. We'll be in the concourse. So on one part of the arena will be the Major Discovery Fair. And this is new, a joint venture that we're doing. So you can find out more about the business school the students can in different ways they can get involved in student orgs or just different programming, maybe certificates that they're not aware of. We'll have tables set up on one side, and then the other side they'll be able to network with over 70 companies that will be there to hire our students for internships and full-time opportunities. This is the first time we've done this in the Bartow, so this is an exciting time that this is happening, and this is the first time there's been a joint career expo. So we're excited about that as well. So please encourage your students. It's from 1 to 4, so it's a 3-hour time frame that they can come, and so we've built it where they can go to class and then come to the career fair, and then if they have a class in the evening, they can go back to class. So I would encourage you to talk to your students about making sure they have their dress attire with them that week, so they have their business suits and all that stuff on campus with them. So that's kind of wraps up what we're doing there for the career fair. And one of the things we also do in the Collat School of Business, sometimes we do special networking events. We did this event back in the spring, and it was a hit for the employers as well as a hit for the students. A lot of times the students want to hear from the employers. So we came up with a event called the Collat Mixer. So what happens on this day, it's on a Friday from 9 to 11 on October the 5th. It's coming up in about a month. The companies, we have about 12 to 18 companies that will pitch their company to the students. It's almost like a reverse career fair where on the 26th, the students will be going around and seeing the companies. This particular event, the employers will be pitching to the students. So they have about 5 minutes to pitch their company and their internship or full-time opportunity to the students. We'll have a bell. So last time I remember Vulcan Materials, they had these rocks to get over to the students kind of what they did, and they threw rocks in the audience. The rocks were plastic, but the students thought they were real rocks. So that was their way to get the attention. So we're hosting this event again on October the 5th. It is snappy business casual, so we're not, you don't have to put on your business suit for this particular event, but we're just asking the students to be in business casual, more comfortable, and come in and hear about these companies. We will have a lot of companies from Innovation Depot because we're finding a lot of our students want to be an entrepreneur or find out more of how they do that. And so we'll have a lot of those companies come in to pitch on how they got starting their company as well. So please encourage your students to be involved in that as well. And one of the things that we talked about for the career fair is we do coach students on that first impression, and so that's the reason why I had said previously to make sure they do have their business suit ready for the career fair, because they do want to make that very first impression when they walk up at the career fair. So we have these posters and these signs available in the Collat School of Business showing the students how to dress. We also have mannequins in our office that are professionally dressed, and when they come in and they say, "Ms. Rita, I'm getting ready for the career fair," I look at the mannequin and I said, "Okay, you see how the mannequins are dressed? That's how I expect you to be dressed that day when you come to the career fair." One of the things I would say I would just encourage your students to do is network. We have a lot of different events, as you can see, programming, not only in the Collat School of Business, but all across campus that they can get involved in. So encourage them to network, get involved when they see opportunities that come their way, is to get involved, and that's usually how they're going to launch their career is through their networking. So our office provides the networking opportunities, but they have to participate in those networking opportunities to launch their career. I know many students, I used to have this whole example and said, I'm not Oprah, so it's not you get a car, you get a car, you get a car. You know, it's not you get a job, you get a job, you get a job. You know, we don't hand out jobs. You earn those jobs, and how you earn those jobs and those internships is that you participate. We will do our job to to present opportunities where you can network with employers, but the students have to participate in the opportunities in order to launch their career. They're not given, they're earned. So if you'll make sure you tell them that, then we'll work together to make sure that they have something when they graduate. And I'm excited about this. This is the first time with us moving into a new building this fall and having a new space. We have launched our very first career planning guide. So the link just came like yesterday. So we'll have hard copies of our career planning guide, hopefully in our office by next week before the career fair. So if they want to log on to the live link, they can see it online. We'll have it on our website once we get that revamped. But we'll have hard copies as well, and it will be something that they can keep in their backpack in case they ever need to write a thank you note or a thank you letter after an interview. They'll know how to do that. So I think that wraps me up. That's our contact information. Please feel free to contact any of us. Follow us on Instagram at UABBiz, and you'll see a lot of this information that I have presented today.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so very much, Rita, today. At this point, I want to go ahead and open it up if there are any questions about any of the information that Rita presented today about the Collat School of Business's Careers Center and the services that they're able to provide to our students. If you have any questions, you can use, if you're using the Zoom function, you can use the Q&A function to type in your question there. And then if you are using the Facebook Live function, all you need to do is just type it into the comments section there. We are monitoring the Facebook Live feed as well so that we can answer those questions at the same time. And I see we have a question that has popped up. And the question again was, what was the link for that career planning guide?
Oh, can I go back?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Let's see. Can they see it?
Yes, they should be able to see
Okay.
it. So there's the link. We will also, I will make sure that we put that link on our Facebook page this afternoon,
Okay. All right.
as well as so that you could easily get, since it isn't a clickable link from the webinar right now, but I'll make sure that we actually put that on. So it is a clickable link for you this afternoon on the Facebook page within the next hour so that you can get to that information. So that you can easily share that with your student so that they can utilize those resources as soon as possible.
Yeah. Thank you.
Most certainly. Happy to do it. Other questions that we can help answer for you two all today? Just as a note, we are going to be continuing the three-part series next week with the student services side of careers from the Collat School of Business. That will include the system. So that just make sure you're able to join us for next Tuesday. All right, so here's another question. Oh, this is a really good one, I think. My student is creative and not necessarily comfortable in business clothing, but is pursuing hair, fashion, beauty, entrepreneurial endeavors. Any advice on dress or how she should follow standard directions?
Yes, that's an excellent question. In fact, this Friday, I don't know if she's available, but we're doing a tour of Innovation Depot, and that's where a lot of that creative space is. A lot of people that have launched their own businesses, and when we go there, you won't usually see anybody in a suit and tie down there because of that, and we coach on that. So if it's a company that she's interviewing for that we know that's more non-traditional, we will coach in that area. We'll, a lot of times we can reach out to that contact. A lot of times we know that contact, and we will coach that student in that area.
I think that's a really great question and really great because it is can sometimes feel very structured.
Right.
That function and factor, especially if you are a more creative factor and student type, then how do you ensure that your personality is seen?
Right, exactly. And we can coach that. We've done that many times.
That's awesome. That's a great service. I will say, granted, it's been a few years. We're not going to talk about how many. But I would always advocate, and I know you all have, I'm sure, done this for your student, but definitely advocating for students participating in as many different types of internships or job shadowing opportunities as they can. That was something that I took significant advantage of when I was in college. I did 3. I loved the area of study that I was studying, but I didn't necessarily know what I wanted to do with that particular area of study. So I had 3 different internships that were in 3 very vastly different areas of that were applicable to the areas of study, but were very vastly different areas in the workforce. And one of the things I think that we tend to overlook is that they also, while they were really great experiences, they were great in sharing with me areas of the workforce that I had zero desire to actually be in, but I was able to learn that in a shorter time frame, in a paid factor that didn't impact me in the long term. So I wasn't, quote unquote, out in the working world, having to pay my own bills and not being able to just take a step away. And so that was that impact was a huge impact and opportunity for me. I was able to say, like, let me venture into this world. Oh, that's not where I want to be, but I can continue on and find the next path and find the path that really did fit for me. And so I always advocate to students to take an opportunity and advantage of any of those internships, externships, job shadowings, anything that they can, because what you sometimes envision isn't always what the reality. And then sometimes it really is, and it's even better than you even imagine. Both sides come out great and fabulous and amazing. And so that's always a big push that I try to make sure.
Because, with internships, you're testing the company and the company's testing you. And you might as well get that test done, like you said, while you're in college. And that's a big reason why we do the employer tours. I know when we went to Mercedes, you don't have an office at Mercedes. It's an open office concept. So can you work in that concept? And same thing with Shipped. You don't have a door. So that's the reason why, like you said, you want to test drive a lot of this stuff so that before it's time when you have to start paying your bills.
Exactly. No, exactly. Because I learned open office concept, not for me.
Not for me either.
Here's a question that came in. As a freshman, is it too early to start looking for an intern opportunity for this coming summer? Would basically have no experience in only 1 semester of school, so is it premature for an opportunity to fill for this coming summer? So is that too early?
I don't think that's too early. And the new career fair that's going on September 26th is basically, one side of it's Discovery Fair and the other side is the career fair. So no, it's never too early. Now, I will say if you want to make an appointment or come to the Taste Career Services next week, so you at least have a resume. And as a freshman, it's okay for you to still use some of your high school stuff. That's totally fine. And then we will coach you on how you get involved on campus to build that college resume.
I think that's a great thing. And that's the biggest challenge, I think, for students is underestimating the importance of that resume. That's the experience that I've seen from our students.
And they'll say, well, I don't have anything to put on it. You probably do. Yeah, you've had some leadership experience, I'm pretty sure, in high school. You're maybe a volleyball captain or whatever. And that's what employers are looking for. So we can help you with that.
Apologies for that door slam. New question that did come in there. In answer to the open office concepts that we were just talking about, which I think is a great thing. Does the Career Center offer temperament or personality assessments so that students can help to know kind of some of their natural strengths?
Yes, that is offered. Type focus and focus is offered, and that's on the Career Center site. You can do that. So we can help with that as well.
That's a great system for students to kind of get a better understanding of, again, those natural strengths and where they can best fits and where they should be, and the types of strengths and things for them going forward. My students in my first year experience course take advantage of using that system, and it gives them a good perspective about kind of, again, their strengths and challenges and where they can go from there, which is great. Are there any additional questions that we can help answer for you today? If you do happen to think of questions afterwards, I know that both Rita and myself are more than happy to help you in any way that we can and help your student. We definitely want to make sure that your student is actively engaged and taking advantage of. There is a plethora of resources across this campus.
Right.
And so we want to make sure that they are taking advantage of those and that we are able to get that out there for them in any way, shape, form, or fashion that we can. So
Exactly.
let us know if there's anything else that we can do to be of assistance to you. This webinar, if you want to go back and refer to anything, is going to be available on the Facebook page starting immediately on the Parent and Family Services page, which is just UAB Parent and Family Services. You can find it at UAB PFS. And then it will be on our website later it takes a little bit of time to get uploaded on the website because we have to get it closed captioned, but it will be up on the website within the next few days as well.
Okay.
So you can go back and refer to any of our information that was shared today at your convenience.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Yes, thank you so
appreciate
very
it.
much for joining us today. And again, please feel free to reach out if you have any additional questions.